Denver finishes off the Heat 94-89. A furious fourth quarter attempt by Jimmy Butler in the Heat. Jimmy Butler tried to will it at the end, but Denver wasn't having it. Jokic with 28 and 16. He was the finals MVP. First player in history. No one's ever done this before. Led the postseason. All players in the postseason in points, rebounds, and assists. No one's ever done it before. Guess he's pretty good. Morning, guys.
What up, baby?
Hey.
Key, do you feel better that your squad lost to the champions? Or is it more hurtful that you guys lost to the team that won the chip?
Why would it be hurtful?
No, because for me, every team we lost to in college, my freshman and junior year, went on to lose in the championship game. So it almost made it it made it worse.
They were the better team. They were better than the Lakers. Even though they swept the Lakers, they were a better team than the Lakers. I think if the Lakers had been put together much earlier and had a longer time to kind of gel,
it would have been. It may have been a different scenario.
It could have been. It could have been a difference. It could have been, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it reminds me, the Lakers got destroyed by Dallas, and what was that, Key? 10 or 11? After they'd gone to 3 straight, and they put together the big team with Nash and Dwight. Wasn't that the team where Dirk Nowitzki just ran wild through those dudes?
Yeah.
But the fact that they won the title made it all right. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
you lost, but you lost to the champs.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Look, the Nuggets deserve everything, Jay. You said it from day one that they were the best team in the West, and they would come out of the West. You said it. And so kudos to you. Miami fans should be excited about the future
about Dame.
Of this program and possibly getting a Dame Lillard and everything that we watched. I just want to say one thing before I pass it back to you, Jay. It was a bunch of boring moments in the postgame for me. The postgame celebration immediately after the game, it was I didn't even know. Were they on the road? I'm like, are they on the road?
I'm gonna send you a video. Nike came out with their promotional video for Jokic last night.
But wait,
and it's exactly that, Key. It's just all script. It's boring, and it's this is not a joke.
He doesn't want to go to the parade.
This is who he is. He wants to go home.
You have to see, and you may have seen it because you're on social media. Someone sent me a clip yesterday of him celebrating the champagne. And Jay, he had the bottle, and he looked like, what is this? Oh, it's a champagne bottle. Oh, okay. I'm just going to shake it softly and go on about my business. So I was like, wait a minute. This is your champion? But other than that,
I'm cool with it, though, Key. At least he's being authentically who he is. At the end of the game, he's like, I'm going to ask Josh Kroenke if I could take the plane home. I just want to go home. I just want to go back to Serbia. That's all I want to do.
So Key mentioned, Jay, that just now that the Lakers have been together longer this season. You said it could have been better. Remember I brought up Mike Tyson making a comment about the great Mexican champion Salvador Sanchez, who died in a car crash. He was 24 years old, but was already a legend. It's like you'd see him against a lesser opponent, and you'd be like, oh, maybe this better guy could do something. But the harder you brought it, the worse he beat you up, right? The Nuggets give me that feeling like the Lakers were in every game. The Heat were in a bunch of games. All these different teams seem to be in the game, but when you look down, you go, oh, damn, they got swept. They got gentlemen swept. They got, not really.
So it cemented a movement in the league that I feel like we're about to enter and engage with. The Denver Nuggets have ended the small ball era. Think about Golden State, remember how every team was trying to chase Golden State? You had James Harden and what they were doing in Houston, and it was about guard play, and it was about versatility, and, a 5 out on the perimeter. Now think about, Denver going through Golden State with a bigger team that reminds you of an 80s, 90s style of basketball, right? With their size, their length, how they dominate you with points in the paint, how they dominate you on the glass, how even if they're not shooting the ball well, they're still in a lot of games in the trenches. They won that game ugly last night. You really felt like Miami needed to have a crazy shooting night, and even if they tried to muck up the game, it wasn't going to be enough because they are good at the mucked up style of the game.
Is that because they're playing they have tall players who are capable of playing small ball. Like Jokic can shoot it from the outside. You saw Aaron Gordon hit some threes. So the fact that if you can play that small ball style with size, then you can also do other things.
Yeah, I mean, think about for LA. LA was trying to find ways to get a lot of their players healthy to get them back in the game, right? Yeah. So they can combat that size. Like Dwight Howard's playing over in Taiwan. He's going to be back next year.
He'll be in the NBA.
Somebody's going to say, yo, I need that on my team to combat the size of a guy like Jokic. So you're going to have teams that are going to try to stack up. Like, think about what we're talking about even with Phoenix, right? You're hearing people saying, well, Frank Vogel, are we sure we want to trade DeAndre Ayton? Like, does he give us our best shot to combat that size of Jokic moving forward? The roster constructions will be different next year.
The crazy thing about it is I realized last night, because I've been hearing you say how big they are. And I'm like, well, all NBA players are big. But last night I realized when Jimmy Butler went to the Cup and them two dudes are standing there, he was like, oh, you know what? Let me turn around and try not to shoot over them. And then he wound up turning the basketball over anyway. I mean, toward the end of the game, he got there and he was like, these dudes too big, man. And, you typically don't see that from basketball players. They go ahead and challenge guys in the middle of the court.
Also one of the biggest takeaways I had last night, and I give them a lot of credit, end of the game, they had Jamal Murray out there, and he was asked a question about, when he had the ACL injury and how him and Michael Malone really had a coming-to-Jesus meeting where he was afraid he was going to be traded. And Michael Malone stuck with it. The last 3 champions of the NBA have been homegrown.
Yeah.
Homegrown, drafted by their franchise.
They showed patience waiting through the injuries and everything.
Giannis, right? Yeah. Coming in like a string bean, like growing over time. Mark Lazary and company, Wes Edens, those owners staying with him. Then you think about what Steph winning it last year, where he got drafted, how he was overlooked, how they built that franchise around him and Clay. They rolled over squads.
Yeah, they rolled over.
They rolled over Minnesota. Phoenix probably had the best punch, and that took D-Book to average 40, once again, 80% shooting, right? Like, granted, they missed CP3. Ayton was kind of a no-show, so there's questions around that. But Phoenix probably gave them the best punch. They swept the Lakers, and they just beat Miami 41.
Watch out. They beat the Lakers.
I mean, but it's bam, 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 bam. That's not a dominant run, regardless of what seed they're playing. They took care of business.
They took care of business. There's no question about it. They had a dominant run. They did what they were supposed to do. They handled business. That's how you know they're a very good team. No matter if it's the 8th seed or the 1 seed, and they punched them the way that they did, that's how you know they're a good squad.
So, Key, we're looking on ESPN 2 right now. Remember the other day when I was like, Jokic and Murray, it's an all-time duo, and you guys tried to turn it into the Career Accomplishment Award? Look at this. Most points per game by title-winning duo, okay?
It doesn't
Shaq and Kobe, almost 60. Steph and KD, 56.5.
No.
Then Jokic and Murray at 56, ahead of LeBron and AD at 55, and Jordan and Pippen at 55.
Yeah,
this is
even
as well
even
as
with those numbers, though, Max.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like O'Neal and Bryant, Curry and Durant. It doesn't look like Jordan. It just doesn't look like it.
Does, but it's just as effective.
Yeah. I understand the numbers are the numbers. It is what it is. There's no lies there. But looking at it,
I agree. It doesn't.
And yet
it gets it done.
I'll take the Hawker. We're still going to get there.
Get there at the same time.
It's fine. We're going to get there at the same time.
We're not going to get there at the same time. Depending on where we're going, Max. See, if we're going across the country, then Jay's got to stop and refuel. I don't have to.
But I would say cool.
Jay's plane, I know.
I would say cool, except they were beating the like sweep, gentlemen sweep. Like they're taking care of business. So when you talk about the greatest pair of teammates to win championships, the ones who played at the highest level. This is why I brought this up the other day. They have played at as high a level, really, as anyone you can talk about. They're right there.
I agree, but here's what I need to see moving forward to put them in that rarefied air.
They're not Shaq and Kobe.
With Kobe, or even
that's what I'm saying.
Even KD and Steph, right? Even Jordan and Pippen.
Yes.
Jamal Murray was not an all-star. He has not been an all-star yet.
But in the playoffs, he is.
Yes, but in the playoffs. But it's been a time span between the two in the bubble and where we are now. So the next step for this franchise and those two is now that you are the guys to continue to prove that you are the guys, and everybody is hunting you.
Because
they've been the hunter for the longest time.
I get it, but let's see Jamal Murray just keeps doing this. He's good in the regular season. Oh, my God, he's spectacular in the playoffs. I'm good as the Nuggets. I don't need him to be crazy in the regular season.
You just need to see it. But we're talking about putting him in that rare company, though, Max. That's the difference.
In the playoffs, though. I'm not saying during the regular. I mean, in the play. Yeah. Dude, they're the first pair of teammates to average 25, 5, and 5.
But every last one of those guys on that list did it in the regular season as well as in the post.
I could not.
That's the difference.
I agree. Is Michael Malone the best coach, the best head coach right now? Just won the championship and wasn't really close at all throughout the entire playoffs. He the best coach in the NBA, Jay?
No, I would still say that Steve Kerr, Eric Spoelstra are ranked ahead of him. Ty Lue is, I would still have ranked ahead of him, but Mike Malone is right there knocking on the door. It's like if those three coaches are inside the mansion, hey guys, hey, I'm right here. So
he might be kicking that thing down next year too.
And his answer last night for me is exactly what you want to hear if you're a Denver Nugget fan. It's, we knew we were the best teams, and you're looking here on ESPN2, longest tenure with the team before winning a title. Pat Riley, who's with the Heat for 9 years. Michael Malone with Denver for 8. Red Auerbach with the Celtics for 7.
He's sandwiched between two of the guys on Mount Rushmore. So that you're talking about patience with an organization. There you go.
And well, okay, I was going to finish for a second. The thing I like about his answer last night started from, this is great. We took care of business, but I want more. And that's what you want to hear.
Sound like Pat Riley.
Exactly. And he actually quoted Pat Riley, right? And we'll listen to that sound. But it's that kind of mantra where it's about what we have and what we can build. And is it sustainable instead of just this being a one-trick pony type run?
Well, no, they certainly got a team that could continue to have success, no question about it. But when you start talking about when I look at a coach, I don't just look at adjustments. I look at who they working with and what they working with. When you working with Murray and Joker and Porter and Garden to a degree, you got a squad, right? You got a squad. When you look at Eric Spoelstra, the fact that you could be at 2 championships, in the last 4 years at max, that's tough, man.
I'm with you, Key.
You don't have a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Just, when you start saying, wow, what a great coach, it's almost like Barry Switzer gets credit for the Cowboys Super Bowl. But come on, we all know what that was.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson.
That was Jimmy Johnson, and the players led the charge on their own. So it's not taking anything away from Mike Malone. It's just, at the end, it's hard to say you're putting him right up there with 2 or 3 of the guys in the NBA that have sustained such success regardless. It's hard for me to just say, hey, Steve Kerr, with everything that he's had, is just like, he's the number 1 guy in the NBA as a coach. I mean, look what he's working with. You look at the data when Brown took over for him, they didn't miss a beat. Okay? Luke Walton took over for him, they didn't miss a beat.
He went like 32-3.
Yeah, so I'm like, let's slow it down.
But Key,
a little bit.
let's look at look, I hear what you're saying. I think Steve Kerr is a great coach, but
yes.
and I think Michael Malone is certainly an elite coach, but what you said about Spoelstra, to me, that's where I am. I think it's Eric Spoelstra because Spoelstra has done it with super talented teams, with teams that are not nearly as talented. He's done it over time. He's done it consistently. You've never seen Eric Spoelstra and be like, man, that was a bad coaching. They lost because of the coach. They're always ready to go. He's always making adjustments.
There's no way in hell, Jay, and you know this, they're supposed to be in the NBA Finals this year.
No way.
I don't care.
I agree.
No, let alone 2 of the last 4. Not a chance. Not a chance. They're supposed to be in 2 of the last 4.
So, I mean, look, we work with them. I played against him. I mean, Caron Butler has told me so many incredible stories about how Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley work together. That is one of the most underrated things that nobody's going to talk about. Eric Spoelstra has been able to flourish under the tutelage and also pressure of one of the greatest coaches to ever do that. Do you know how hard that is? Do you know how hard that was for Eric Spoelstra when he wanted to be fired by LeBron James, for Pat Riley to say no to LeBron James and have confidence in Spo to stay with it, and for that to culminate to them winning multiple championships? Like, that takes guts to be in that position.
But you know who would You know who it reminds me of, and he certainly took some of those traits with him to New York and to Miami. Max, you know who it reminds? I'm talking about Pat Riley and working with Spoelstra.
Yep.
It's a Jerry West.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a learned under Jerry West kind of the way to do certain things, and it's taking that to New York and on to Miami with him, and constructed teams and win championships with teams. When Jerry West was younger, he just it was like a puppet master.
He has the Midas touch.
He was trending yesterday, Key. You see that?
Jerry West was?
Jerry West?
Yeah.
Well, how would I see it?
Oh, true. Because he told Kobe not to go to Memphis to play with Powell. Oh, it was interesting. There were a lot of Memphis fans angry at that
But
yesterday.
see, that's why I look
Was
at
it Powell?
Yeah.
Or his brother?
No, because
remember
he was the GM in Memphis. Jerry West went to Memphis and sent Powell to L.A. For his brother.
That's right.
For Marc Gasol, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
But I always looked at that like, damn, Jerry hooked the Lakers up again, but Marc Gasol was an excellent player for a number of years.
Here's something that's to be said about it, though. Like, and we talk about Jerry West and that relationship, and it's got to give them one shout out because no other show will do it today. Like, the fact, if you look at the staff
now
on Denver, look at the staff, right? So you have Michael Malone, who's a top-grade coach in this league. You have a guy in David Adelman, the son of Rick Adelman, right? Like, who is one of the top coaches that has existed in the NBA for a very long time. You have Ryan Saunders, the son of Flip Saunders, rest his soul, who passed away, one of the top coaches in this league for a long time. And you have Popeye Jones. You have guys who have so much experience that have been around this league for a long time and understand how to communicate and get the best out of players. There's something to be said about your staff as well.
Yeah. You got something to say, Key?
Not yet,
right
Key.
Away?
You're 2 minutes early. This guy wants to check into the game.
A minute and a half early.
Wait into the under 8 timeout.
Prince in Colorado. You got about 45 seconds.
What's up, guys? Man, I told you guys about a week ago this is what we were going to do. We had one of those I can't get right games on Monday or whatever, and we were going to come through Game 5. We're going to put it on them. Jay, you already know what's up. You come get a barbecue plate anytime you want. Come on.
Okay,
come to Colorado, baby.
Okay, baby. Yeah, Key, we gotta go out there. We gotta see Prime as well, man. There's a lot popping off in Colorado.
I have no interest in going to Colorado.
Was with 11 seconds left to go in the game, Kyle Lowry took a 3. Miami was down 5. Kyle Lowry took a 3. Denver got the rebound. As soon as Denver got the rebound, Miami Heat players, Duncan Robinson in particular, pulled out his jersey. The game was over with 11 seconds left to go in the game. Now, I've been part of a game called the Miracle Minute, right? I've seen Reggie Miller score 7, 8 points in a span of like 9 seconds.
It was 8 points.
We've
the game
seen
was over
quick
and they beat the
turnarounds,
Knicks,
right?
Yeah.
So think about that moment and think about how defeated Miami must have felt in that moment to just stop, to quit. Like, I'm done. I'm out. Game over. With 11 seconds left to go in the game. That's number one. Number two, in order for Miami to have won that game last night, we've talked about seeing Jimmy Butler be aggressive. I could have told you Miami was going to lose in the first 7 minutes of the game. I didn't see Jimmy Butler be aggressive at all. I saw him try to take 2 layups. I saw him not even try to attempt a mid-range shot. I saw him get to the free throw line one time, but I didn't see an aggressive style of Jimmy Butler.
Why do you think that was, Jay?
I don't know. I can't answer that question. I do not know. I saw Bam be more aggressive than Jimmy Butler. Now, people can sit out there and talk about the ankle injury, but I'm with Jeff Van Gundy, and I think Jimmy Butler is too. If you're on the floor, I don't want to hear about an injury.
Well, he's not
because
telling you
everybody's
about
playing
it.
through injury.
He's
right?
not saying anything about it.
I know he's not, but like I'm trying to find ways in my brain to justify him not being aggressive, because if that were any other player, I feel like if that were me, if that were Key, you don't give Key the ball at the beginning of the game. Like, I'm going to set a tone that I'm either about to come out here and drop 50 on you guys, or this offense is going to come through me and I'm going to make everybody else better. It just didn't seem like he even set the tone for that to even occur.
Key, what if Jimmy, look, his play fell off right around the time of the ankle injury, right? Like, that's when you could see, doesn't look quite the same. So, and he won't use it as an excuse, but what if he he knows they may need me to make a late fourth quarter push, which he did. It wasn't successful, but there was a moment in that game where you're like, oh, wow, is he going to do this?
He scored a hot 11 real quick.
Yeah, real quick in the fourth quarter, and he had him up in the fourth quarter, right? Maybe he knew early, like, I can't do that all game, but I could save that for the fourth quarter. What if it's that?
That's fine. Then let's go to the fourth quarter. Let's go to the dribble drive where he saw Jokic, where Bam is in the dunker spot. Right, and he gets double teamed, and he's looking to get flustered. He could have pulled up for a midi. Like there are little things that you can do. Like Jamal Murray always made that shot off the pivot where he turns over the right shoulder fadeaway. Right, so like and Bam was actually below the 2. He could have hit a little behind the back pass. Granted, being a Tuesday morning quarterback, but like it didn't feel like he was ever comfortable in this series. And there were times where he came off pick and rolls where he could shoot it. But it was like all of a sudden, like he lacked
that one, though.
The willingness to be aggressive in that moment.
We're playing.
And he directly looked at where he was going to pass. You never do that.
We're playing highlights on ESPN too, Jay, as you were saying that. And Jimmy Butler, that 3 he took, boy, he skied for that thing.
He did, but that wasn't a foul. Like he got bailed out on that. He kicked his foot into the player.
But the player was in his way, though, Jay.
No, the player wasn't. Right? The player was closing out. Look, player's closing out. Player's standing up. He kicks his right leg into Aaron Gordon, and he gets fouled. That's not a foul. Key, I'm telling you, that's not a foul.
No, I said you're a basketball player. It just looked like a foul to me because
he got up, though.
Because in that situation, Jimmy Butler's coming down beyond the three-point line, and Gordon is right there beyond the three-point line. So they didn't give him any room to come down. From what I see, I understand his leg kicked out, but if he would have came down straight down, he would have wound up on his ankle anyway.
It's a close call. No. I thought it was close. But look, here's the question.
No, look, straight up, straight down.
Look at Gordon's ankle, though.
Yeah, but
if he came down.
He kicked his legs out.
I don't want to get into
I'm
details
not going to argue with a guy who's taking jump shots in the NBA.
You're not allowed to kick your legs out anymore in the game like you used to be a couple of years ago, and they changed that call. As long as you're not impeding your landing territory, and it's straight up, straight down for jump shots.
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Jay. I was going to ask you because you were talking about being aggressive and Jimmy Butler and this, that, and the other. When he was taking shots, they were not falling, right? But how does that have anything to do with his ankle? I mean, he's taking a shot. They're just not going in. They rattling around. They hitting the front of the rim. How does his ankle affect that?
I mean, look, I'm not going to make any excuses going because Jimmy's not talking about his ankle. I'm not going to talk about his ankle.
Well, everybody else was talking about his ankle, so I figured I asked.
No, I mean, I don't think it. Look, I think his ankle's okay.
So
I think
here's the question, guys.
It's just a matter of wouldn't you want your player, Max, superstar or star, whatever, Game 5 closeout scenario on the road to be aggressive right from the beginning?
It would be nice, and it's curious because Jimmy Butler, until a certain part of the playoffs, was unbelievable, and since then he was still very good defensively, and he still provided offense, just not very. He wasn't very aggressive, you're right, and he also wasn't very efficient at a certain point. But he was excellent in the fourth quarter again, I thought. Look, can he be the best player on a championship team? I'll give you my answer. I think the answer is yes if there are 2 other guys right there with him. Like maybe he's better than Bam, but you got another guy who plays a different position than Bam, obviously, at least on Bam's level. He needs to do it. Like if Jimmy Butler is your best player, I'm not going to say you can't win a championship because he's gotten to 2 finals, but you need Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero needs to be someone better than someone like that needs to be an all-star caliber player.
If he had Kyle Lowry from 5 years ago, or something like that,
right? Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jay.
I still don't know if that's
5.
But no, if you had that
better.
Kyle Lowry, it may be not enough. He may be not against this Denver team, but
5 years ago,
I think he could.
Yeah, 5 years ago, I think that type of player though.
Yeah,
from 5 years ago.
I mean, look, man, this whole thing, like if we're saying that there are 5 superstars in the league, I understand. I don't think Jimmy Butler has a superstar offensive skill set. I do think he has superstar abilities, though, from a defensive perspective, from a leadership perspective, and from like a tough shot-making perspective down the stretch. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.